Huyu msichana ni mrembo.
I'm a beautiful girl.
There you go. There you go.
I feel like there is a bit of an identity crisis.
Yes.
Sometimes you can feel like, oh, I'm too Kenyan to be American.
Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Lydia Atandi and I create content about the experience of living in diaspora and the ups and downs of it. If you are new to the channel, welcome. We are so glad you're here. And if you are a returning subscriber, we cannot appreciate you enough. Thank you so much for tuning in again. So for those who are not familiar with the channel, I'll give you a little bit of my background. I am a Kenyan, born and raised. I lived there for a very long time and I moved to the US back in 2014. So I have lived in the US for 10 years. And guys, with me today is a beautiful young lady that I'm very fond of, that I'm super excited to have here. She is, among other things, one of the leaders of the Kenyan-American youth that we have in our city, the city of Wichita. I cannot wait for you to meet her and for us to have a conversation. She is just awesome, just brilliant, graceful, demure, all that. I don't want to take too much of your time. I will let her introduce herself and tell us a little bit about who she is. Take it away, girl. Hey.
Hi, everyone. My name is Natalie Odor. I'm also Kenyan. I came here when I was a baby, and I've been here for, I think it's almost my 20-year anniversary now.
Really?
So, yeah. But I'm really grateful that my parents brought us over here for all the opportunities and everything. Currently, I'm a nurse. I work bedside, and I really love seeing how I can help transform patients' lives. So that's just a little bit about me.
Do you remember any of your life in Kenya?
Honestly, no, I don't. I just have pictures that my parents have sent me. It'd be cool if we could insert some of those pictures to see. Yeah, nice. Some of them are really funny.
And you have them too?
I'll try and find them and then I can send them to you. Yeah.
We'll find a way to hook them up from here. All right, there you go. So guys, let us jump right into it. Today I just wanted to have a little bit of a conversation with her about being a Kenyan and American at the same time. And let's get into it. The first question I'll ask you, Natalie, is what do you like about being a Kenyan American?
There's honestly a lot.
Do you like anything about being Kenyan American?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Yeah, I think I like having the best of both worlds, honestly.
Yeah.
I think on the Kenyan side, I really love food. Yeah. So I like pilau, chapati, samosa, all those things. And then on the American side, I love ribs, soul food. I just tried catfish the other day with the Crystal's hot sauce. Very good. Very good.
So, there you go.
Yeah.
So pretty fast, just having the best of both worlds and just yeah, it's really kind of nice to know you can,
yeah,
tap into those. Do you speak Swahili at all?
I'll be honest, I need to do better and learn. I really do.
Yeah, and that reminds me of the little game we had, planned on it. I'll just ask you a few questions.
Okay, we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll try to keep it basic. Okay, I'm gonna say some few words in Swahili, some few sentences, and we'll try to see, if you can pick up an interpretation of them.
Okay.
Okay, so the first one is huyu msichana ni mrembo.
I'm a beautiful girl.
There you go. There you go. And the second question, the second Swahili sentence is unaenda wapi shule?
Where do I go to school?
Look at you talking about how you don't know Swahili.
No, really, if you put me in a conversation, I would be lost.
But you're doing well considering.
Thank you.
Yeah. What's the third sentence I had? Okay, so if you were to say it correctly, it will be chakula hiki ni kitamu. But if you would say it informally, like 80% of Kenyans would, hi chakula ni tamu. What is that?
This food is good.
You got it.
See, there we go.
There you go. Yeah, I think you're doing well, for a person that, did not spend a good amount of time in Kenya. So just keep building up on that, and soon we'll be, flowing in conversation in Swahili.
Exactly.
Too. All right. So thank you for sharing, what you like about being Kenyan American. The second question I'll ask you is, what are the challenges that come with being a Kenyan American?
I would say some of the cultural differences. I think growing up, I had a great childhood. I'm really thankful for my parents for bringing me a great childhood. But some of the things were like, you can't have sleepovers, or, you're not allowed to stay out past 10 p.m. because they would say, when I was a kid, I had to be home by 6 p.m. And I'm just like, how? That's when something starts. That's when the party starts. So just some of those differences. And then like sports, I wasn't really allowed to do too many sports because they didn't see the value of that. But nowadays, as my brothers are growing up, they're attending all their sports activities, parent-teacher conferences. My parents wouldn't show up because what is that? Like, why would I need to go to the school unless I'm in trouble? So just some of those differences were kind of hard to work with, and even just pronouncing some things. My mom told me about Bath and Body Works when I was younger, but she pronounced it Bath and Body Wax. So I thought, so I thought it was wax, like W-A-X. And I was telling my friends about it, and they're like, I don't know that store. I don't know. And I'm just like, and then I went home and looked up, and I was like, wow. So I've been pronouncing this wrong the whole time.
So how would you pronounce it? How would you pronounce the store?
Now it's Bath and Body Works.
So I'm in the same league as your mom. So that sounds to me like it was both a generational difference and a cultural difference as well. So it's like you were the experimental kid.
It really was, But
I think I've seen a lot of like people kind of going through that generational difference, cultural difference. For a moment, I thought it looked like a little blurred, but I think it picked back up. So is there any other challenge you feel there is to, being a Kenyan American, or something you've experienced by virtue of being Kenyan American?
Sometimes I feel like there is a bit of an identity crisis. Sometimes you can feel like, I'm too Kenyan to be American. And then when you go back home, you're like, I'm too American. Like, people are like, you don't know Swahili, you don't do this. Like, they're even surprised that we eat ugali, omena, things like that. They're like, you eat that? And I'm like, yeah, why not? And then over here, there's some things that they also don't understand either, like, the way our parents are strict and things like that. They're like, that doesn't make sense. Why can't they just let you do this? So,
You actually took the words out of my mouth, because I was going to ask you about that next, because I feel like a lot of people in your shoes who are born and raised here, or for the most, like you have grown up here for the most part, they experience that challenge of feeling like when you hang out with Kenyans, you feel like you don't fit in. You're not Kenyan enough, quote unquote.
Right.
And when you hang out with like Native Americans, or just people that are, originally from here, you feel like you're not American enough.
Right. Yeah.
Do you think that, because back in the 90s and early 2000s, there weren't many people like in your shoes, I feel like, yes, there are Kenyan Americans, Nigerian Americans, and so on and so forth, but right now the number is more. So there's quote unquote, like you're alone together, like this community in that. Community in other kids, other young people that are in the same shoes, who share that identity crisis. But do you feel like that helps things a little bit?
I think it does, because they can understand where you're coming from, they can see where you're coming from, and they can help you find ways to cope with some of that identity crisis.
Exactly. So for the sake of keeping all factors constant, okay, so you're a Gen Z, right?
Yes.
You are a Gen Z, I'm a millennial. But for the sake of keeping all factors constant, let's say we will say we are both Gen Zs.
Okay.
It feels good to say I'm a Gen Z.
You still look young, so
thank you. I realized that Kenyan-American Gen Zs and Kenyan Gen Zs, like people who are like me, just lived in Kenya for most of their life and came here later, they have a totally different set of problems. Yeah, because, for example, a Kenyan-American, a Kenyan who has maybe come here in their 20s or 30s, they'll have other issues to deal with. Like for some people, it will be fitting in to the American culture, you know, fitting into the American culture. For others, it will be the struggles of being an international student, you know. But for you guys, those are not your struggles. Like you said, your struggles are things like identity crisis, cultural identity crisis, and, you know, just generational differences with your parents. So that's kind of interesting too. Do you find it difficult to relate with, you know, people your age that have not grown up here? They've come straight from Kenya. Do you have any challenges interacting with them?
I don't think so. I think it's actually, I think with the growth of technology and social media, we sort of consume the same content. So we can always, you know, find some of the same things funny, look at the same memes, you know, share some of those topics that are being talked about.
Yes. That's awesome. Yeah. I like that, you know, you can still relate despite the different upbringing and everything. All right. So, anything you'd like to say to any young person that is in your shoes, you know, a Kenyan American who's maybe lost in identity crisis, struggling with identity crisis, or just someone in your shoes, just being a Kenyan American?
Well, first, I would like to say thank you so much for inviting me onto this platform. I really do appreciate you allowing me to speak on this topic. As for Kenyan Americans, I would say, even with the identity crisis, I think we are still granted a wonderful opportunity to be here and to just work hard and sort of chase those dreams that we want. We really don't have, I'm not going to say that international students, how do I want to word this? Like, I know for my parents, when they were coming as international students, they had a lot of obstacles in their way. Things were really hard. And, you know, it was hard to sort of follow the dream that you wanted to. But I think they've given us a great opportunity. We have a lot of things that are really not in our way, and we can just go for it and, you know, just work hard, keep doing what you want to do and follow your dreams.
There you go. There you go. Natalie, I really appreciate you joining me today to have this conversation, taking your time to do this. I've had a great time and I've learned a lot from you. And I'm sure, you know, a lot of people in the audience will resonate with what you said and learn a thing or two. So I really appreciate you, girl. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you enjoyed today's topic. If you have not subscribed, I want to remind you that subscribing is free. Be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out on topics of this nature. And let me know if you are a Kenyan American or just from any other country and you're in this country and struggling with any of the things that we've talked about. Let me know in the comment section. Let me also know what you enjoy about being in this country and just your experience as a whole. Or if you happen to have a child, you know, young ones that are in the same shoes or dealing with this or that, let me know what the experience or your experience in parenting has been with them. Meanwhile, I really appreciate you tuning in again. Thank you so much for watching till the very end. Like I said, be sure to subscribe. I will see you on the next episode. And before then, you want to tell them goodbye in Swahili?
Is it kwaheri?
There you go. Kwaheri.
Kwaheri.